So, what's the subject of what you're talking about now?
Okay.
What is a good poem?
What's a good poem? Well, specifically giving him advice on his poetry, I guess. 17, I surged with it. Electric eels urged down my back. When I saw you in class, my stomach plummeted. When you spoke to me, I flooded, and you knew it. And all I wanted was to be the slick pink seashell into which you summoned the roaring of the sea.
That's nice.
I like the rhymes in that one.
Yeah, so you're saying you're interweaving the rhymes within the story,
within the lines, yeah, and letting them just like the syllables, like it's like you're fishing, and you like are just like pulling on a line and seeing what the fish is,
right,
instead of like really desperately trying to like draw a picture of a fish over and over again.
Right. Okay. I am forever. This is life, and I know that this will go on for better or for worse. The trees will grow.
It still feels like there's no like. I think if you're going to say a poem out loud, it should be like screamed or like cried or whispered into a lover's ear. There needs to be.
This is New York.
Yes. See?
Together we live.
Yes.
All of us united, absent of strife, absent of what's wrong or right. Together forever.
The beginning was really good. You had it. You were living in the poetry, and then you started being like, "Oh, I need to like construct this poem."
Yeah. Explain this thing about the monkey bar once more.
There's a way of composing where you're just swinging between rhymes, and you're just always trying to make sure the next rhyme hits, and that's really boring to me. I want something unexpected.
So rhyming is not always good.
No.
That's the idea.
The idea is you shouldn't be writing a poem for the rhyme, and that's the way a lot of freestyle raps feel to me. Is that you're doing it for the like rhyme to like hit the rhyme always
I got
where
that.
it should hit.
So they focus too much on the next thing to rhyme with the previous thing.
Yeah.
And then what do they miss?
And then then it's missing like this human element of necessity and like lived electric importance.
What do you mean necessity?
A poem should come into existence because it's felt in some way. It needs to exist. It shouldn't just come into existence because it's this exercise that I'm doing it like to sort of entertain myself. I don't know.
Okay.
On the other hand, here I am writing poems for every stranger who asks.
How come did you start doing this?
I got the idea.
How did it happen?
From a movie, and I was like, oh, I should try this. Have you seen Before Sunrise? No. It's a good movie.
Before Sunrise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Link later. And so there's a guy who's doing this sort of, and so the next day I went out and I started doing it, and I quit my job and just started doing this full time like a year and a half ago.
No way.
A year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Where do you usually do it?
Right here. You're looking at it.
Usually here?
I'm usually right here, like 5 days a week.
And you quit your job. What do you mean you quit your job?
I'd had a job. I was working like everybody else in the world.
And you were working to support, to make money.
I was working to make money to support myself making art. But I was working like 3 or 4 days a week.
So how do you pay for things now?
Doing this.
And what? So people.
I write poems for people. Often they give me donations, and I just live off the donations.
And you don't write "give me donations" anywhere. It's just implied. It's an
no,
implied
and
idea.
when people ask, I tell them that I would prefer to get a donation.
Okay.
A lot of people don't pay me. A lot of people give me 20s. It all works out.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah, you should try it. If this interests you, I would definitely recommend trying it. Especially just the encounters with strangers. It's like you have to learn how to just like be there for people.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think you've got it. You've got the screaming in public. You're halfway there.
Give people some advice based on your life experience.
No.
That's the advice. Advice is no.
You want to crack up a piece?
Why not?
I think just like what am I going to tell people? What sort of like blanketed advice can I give someone to just like live your truth? Like really follow your passion, and it'll all work out if you just show up every day. And that's bullshit. Just I don't know.
So make something else up.
The forms of advice that we have, where like you like sort of are watching some like entertaining, charismatic speaker telling you how you should live your life, is so morally bankrupt, and it's just a way of like selling something usually, even if it's like selling like your sort of like way of life. I don't know. It's bullshit.
So then share a story that was very interesting for you.
Okay.
Let's say a life-altering and transformative story.
So I was doing this one day. But I didn't have the table yet. I was just wandering around, and this couple comes up to me, and they're so like beautiful, and they're just in love. And they're like, we want a poem. And I was like, that sounds great. I would love to write you a poem. You are shining humans. And I'm like, what do you want a poem about? And the guy's like, duty. And I was like, duty? D-U-T-Y? He's like, no, duty. And so I sat down and started writing his duty, his shit poem. And then halfway through, he stops me. And he's like, actually, you know what? Could you write us a set of wedding vows? Two wedding vows? And I was like, really? Are you getting married? And I'm like, yeah, we're getting married. He's like, how long have you known each other? Like, just a couple days, but we're going to get married. And I was like, okay, fine. I have no idea what's going on, but I'll write you these wedding vows. So I sat down and I wrote them 2 sets of wedding vows, and they each took them and they folded them up and they put them in their pocket.
Yeah, he's good. Stay.
And then they left, and I thought I'd never see them again, because that's how it always goes with strangers in the park. But then a couple hours later, they come back, and she's in a wedding dress, and they are like, we want you to administer this wedding for us. Here in the park. So I'm like standing here. It's like, you're in a wedding dress. He's here, and I'm like reading. They're each reading the vows I had written for each other, and I give a little speech, and then they kiss, and the crowd cheers, and then they run into the fountain, and she gets soaking wet in her wedding dress, like that she had found somewhere in a thrift shop, and it was beautiful. And then they left, and I said goodbye and hugged them. And I thought I'd never see them again. But then, a year later, I see this guy in the park, and he's like, he pulls out his phone, he's like, is this you? And he shows me a picture of me, and I'm like, yes, this is me. And he's like, you like married me and my girlfriend in the park last year. And we had only met, we'd only been together a few days, and she just moved in, and we haven't left each other since. And they live down the street from me, and I was just watching their bunny rabbit while they were on vacation.
Okay. Okay, that's good.
So that's my advice.